Okay. All right. Welcome. Let me hold on. I need to record this meeting, I think.
It's recording.
Oh, it's recording.
It is
Okay.
recording, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right. Welcome to the July 28th, 2026 meeting of the Milton Community Preservation Committee. My name is Tom Callahan, the chair of the committee and representing the Affordable Housing Trust, and we'll take the roll. Kathleen?
Here.
Do you want to just introduce
Oh,
yourself?
Kathleen O'Donnell, general member. Yeah,
Steve?
sorry.
Steve O'Donnell, Historical Commission.
Rob?
Rob Lee Bash, Parks Commission.
Jenny?
Jenny Russell, vice chair and member at large.
Robbie?
Robert Powers for the Housing Authority.
Hal?
Hal Munger, Planning Board.
Pete?
Pete Jackson, treasurer and at-large member.
And Cam?
Cam Jackson, committee clerk.
Great. All right. Thank you, everybody, for making yourselves available. Hopefully we can get through this. It's a short agenda, so hopefully we can get through this pretty quickly. I know people have other commitments later tonight, including myself, actually. So, there's some incentive there. The first order of business is, I'm not looking at the agenda here, that would help. I just want to make sure. Yeah, is review, discussion, and approval of a letter to eligible applicants explaining the committee's recent decision to recommend at least one project for consideration at the fall town meeting. Earlier today, I sent around a draft of what that letter might look like. Jenny, thank you for taking the lead on that. And Jenny and I collaborated on that draft this morning and just wanted, obviously, to get it in everybody's hands. So let me call that draft up if I can. Hold on. Sorry about this.
You also sent it around, Tom. So
I did, but I also just felt like,
yep.
If I can have it on the screen, we might be able to make edits in real time here. Share my screen. Okay. All right. So there's the letter. I think this is the same version. Yep. Yeah. All right. So I guess let's open it up for discussion, comments on this draft, or proposed edits if people want to really jump right into it. But obviously what we're trying to do, we had some discussion at our last meeting about this. What we're trying to do is be transparent about the process looking a little different or being a little different this year with the recommendation of Tucker. And while we haven't voted yet on a fire station recommendation, the anticipation is that recommendation might come before our normal, spring process. So obviously we haven't received anything updated information from Fire Station Building Committee yet, so that's still to be determined. But that's what this letter is referencing. Just an informal conversation. I'm not sure if there are projects that would choose to try to speed up, or not choose, but that need to speed up their timeline. But we're trying to be transparent about our actions and just inform all the applicants. So let's open it up for comments. Rob, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, sure. So appreciate the letter. I think it's great to let folks know why the decision was made, why the committee went ahead for the fall and letting applicants know. So I appreciate that. I think it's a good letter. My only feedback is whether we need to put in do we need I guess is that last paragraph where it says we anticipate most of the projects have applied for CPA funding this year can remain on schedule. I'm just wondering, is that necessary to put in, or should we remove it? I would open it up for discussion, whether that's the case or not, but I think it's good for transparency that, that we say that this is going to happen. And then just for future reference, not specific on the letter, is I don't think it's a time and place for tonight, but I think we should discuss the process moving forward. And I know we've had conversations about that. I think we just need to let applicants know kind of the process and how we're going and whether we want to have two, whether there's like an open enrollment or whether we change the process potentially. I think that's all for another time and something that we should tackle in the future. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for another time. I agree. And I agree with you, Rob, that
Pete,
Oh.
sorry.
I don't
just
have a
want
way to
go
raise
because-
my, okay.
No,
Yeah,
let's go,
Steve.
let him go ahead.
I don't have a way to raise
Well-
my hand. I'm on my phone, so
Okay.
either way,
Yeah, either way. Steve had his hand up and Kathleen had
that's
her hand
fine.
up.
I'll go after Kathleen.
Okay. So Steve, go ahead.
Just a technical item, Friday is September 25, not 26.
Oh,
Good point.
that's an important, maybe technical, but it's very important.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Kathleen?
One of the things that first paragraph in this round, we received a record 22 applications requesting over 6 million. The way that reads, it sort of sounds like 22 applications could have requested $6 million each. And so it seemed to me that it should be said record applications totaling requests of over $6 million, because I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that it's all of that. And then
Can you
just
see
these
these
are
changes as I type them?
I do, yeah.
Okay,
And so
okay.
the other issue I have is that you aren't, this is a technical one for typo, editing thing, is that you've capitalized annual town meeting, but not fall town meeting, and those should be consistent. And I had a teacher in high school who would never let us have a sentence that said, this is a firm deadline. It's this what? It has to modify a noun. So this date is a firm deadline. You can't have a sentence that just says this is and go straight to a verb. So that's just something that was hammered into my head by Mr. Fuller, and
Love
I
it.
can't
I
get
love
over it. And so anytime you've got, while this does not guarantee funding, and that's in the third line of the third paragraph, while this what, this recommendation does not guarantee funding. Yeah, it's not clear what you're talking about there unless you modify it with a noun. Thank you, Mamaroneck High School.
Right. I just passed through Mamaroneck.
Yeah, so as I said, fall town meeting, and this you fixed it in one spot, but you didn't fix it in the next one, which is at the end of that paragraph.
Okay, okay. And I think keeping with that, I wouldn't capitalize fall, because the only reason I capitalize annual is that is the official title of
Right.
that town meeting, and technically the fall doesn't have, it's just
Right.
Well, it's a
maybe
special town meeting.
it's a special
Yeah.
town
All
meeting.
special town
Right,
meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
All right.
fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I can't let it stand like that.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great. Pete.
I want to support Rob's suggestion that we not leave it open for people to come, and start asking to be considered again, because that'll open up a can of worms for us. To have to meet again, and other people might flood in, trying to get early decisions and things like that. So this is just a decision we made, and I would think we should leave that whole idea of inviting additional people out.
So Pete, you're saying this sentence I have highlighted we'd delete that entirely?
Yes. Yeah, while we anticipate, I would think that another thing that we might consider, but I don't know, but I drafted after the budget overrides, I could say the committee has committed $300,000 to a project to be presented in the fall STM, leaving approximately $700,000 for new projects, with about 16 projects yet to be considered. And that gives them, and again, I don't know if we want to get into that detail, but that would give them an idea of the universe that they're competing against, with 16 projects. But, I don't know if we want to get that specific or not.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me just take all of these comments and let's hold on that. I crossed that out, but I obviously want to get further feedback on this too. So I just trying to keep a little bit of a ongoing record here, and I'm sure Cam will correct me if I don't get the record straight here. So, all right. So Steve, I think, and then Jenny.
Real quick, with respect to Kathleen's high school teacher, what about this deadline is firm?
No, we just said this date is a firm deadline. That's fine. You put in the word. Yeah. Invites you to submit an application due February, September. This date is a firm deadline. That's fine.
Yeah, Steve, I don't know if you can see I'm making changes as we speak. So, I mean, this deadline is firm is fine sentence too, but I don't think
I think it's stronger to say this date is a firm deadline.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a stronger voice.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. All right, Jenny.
I'm not sure I agree with Pete's detail, whether we need that.
The extra sentence he read.
Yeah, I would be hesitant to get into that level of detail. But I think, Rob, what you were talking about was being transparent about the fact that this presents a new evolution for the committee, and it opens up the process discussion, which we will have. And so I think what you were getting at was, and actually we had it in an initial paragraph, that that this will that we're not, this isn't just a one-time thing, but this opens up the door for us to reevaluate our application process.
Yeah, maybe there's something that says the committee is evolving the application process for late, maybe like next year or whatever. I think that might be something fine to say. I don't know, Pete, if we need to get into the details of the funding. I think this is enough, but to just say like, we understand that as the years go on, situations change and such. So the committee's evolving the process as we move further, But we don't want to say that for this year. Obviously, for later years, I think is more important.
Yeah, I don't want to I think that's good. I don't want to prejudge that where we're going to end up, right? Because we could end up with something that looks maybe slightly different, but largely similar to our current process. But we could end up with something that's 2 rounds or stuff like that. So I would be hesitant in this letter to get for some of the same reasons people said too hesitant to.
I understand that.
Yeah. And let's see, Jenny.
No, it's okay. It's
okay.
I guess we need to add a sentence. It does beg the question about whether we want to invite still current applicants to come before us, since we allowed one, whether we want to open that door, and by taking out this last sentence, it basically does not open the door for that.
Right. That's why I put it in there. I think, well, this sentence is actually a combination of something Jenny wrote and something I wrote. Yeah, I walked away from the last meeting feeling like at least some members of the committee might want to put that in there, and invite that. The sentence is structured, frankly, to say, we're not expecting a flood of you to come forward. Obviously, I don't know. It might be encouraging and discouraging all in one sentence. Is what I maybe was going for, but but I would defer to the committee's wisdom here about whether or not this is advisable or needed, or I suppose you could make the assumption that just this letter without that sentence to someone who feels under severe time pressure will likely result in them reaching out to us, regardless of whether the sentence is in or out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody reads this letter and says, "Oh, one project is, or at least one project's going to the fall," we have, it doesn't invite that clearly without that sentence in there, but it also, this disclosure of the fact kind of opens up that possibility, I guess.
Do we think we have anybody that is anxious that way? I didn't.
Not that I know of. I mean, obviously we don't know what we don't know because
Yeah.
we haven't asked that question in that way before. But not that I am aware of.
I mean, the people who want them, I mean, people that want the money now have been pretty clear about that.
I think there's the danger that that they think, oh, maybe I can get my my
Yeah.
project considered in advance of having to compete with all these others.
Right.
I can get my funding, and the poor people who wait till the second round, they're competing, against just more competition for limited money.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, so I think obviously I was outspoken last meeting, but my main issue is that we were going different than a process that than we typically do. And what I would say is that for town committees and town boards and such that are going out for public projects that are more than $50,000, even if you're not a town project, if it's a public project, which most CPC, all CPC projects are, you'd have to go through an RFP process. And to do that, it takes some time. And so knowing that the committee may want to rethink, right, in the future, like timing and a rolling application process and such, because of building in the RFP process, because our decisions usually aren't made until December, and then you're not typically, you don't have a town meeting vote until May, right? So you can't the funding isn't guaranteed until you have a town meeting vote in May, and then the funding isn't usually released until July. So in essence, it only gives you about a month or 2 months if you're looking for funding of that year to go out to an RFP process. So that was my, for some of the projects that I'm working on, or obviously you guys know that I'm an applicant as well, along with the Parks Department. Some of the projects that are on there are going to have to go through an RFP process, and so I think it's fine. I think it's fine to continue on with this process, but in the future, we may want to think about that in the future, just to evolve as we go along. And to your point, Pete, whether or not what things are fair or not fair, I think it just opens the door, right, to the question whether it is or not. And what I'm saying is I would take that out, right? Because I think, yes, we did what we did. We're being transparent, and I think that's fine to go that way. At least we're letting applicants know there's this remaining pool of money that we go through. And I don't think we should open the door for other folks, but there's plenty of other people on this committee, and you may feel differently. I would be fine either way, whether you want to open it, leave that there or not. I wouldn't leave it there.
I agree with Rob.
Other thoughts?
I just wrote a sentence that we might be able to add in the chat. I don't know, instead of that last sentence, taking that away, I agree that it is implied that if somebody really wants it, they'll come to you, Tom, with questions. But by adding something like, the committee will be reviewing the overall application process with potential changes next year, or be advised, or something like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't, is in the chat.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I can't see it either.
All right, I forgot to send it.
Oh,
Oh,
there
there
it
it
is.
is. There it is.
It is.
Oh.
That's a good reason why we couldn't see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that over promises, right?
Right.
It doesn't
hmm
just potential.
So where would you put that
It's
in the
what-
letter, Jenny?
Yeah.
But I guess make,
Like lastly, or like the last?
and I'm not sure whether it would be attached to that paragraph or just by itself. Maybe by itself, I don't know.
no, I
don't
can
know.
sit in that paragraph. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about spring meetings and we're talking about, fall meet. Yeah, I think that's okay.
I think it could, yeah, I agree with Kathleen. I think it could sit at the end of that paragraph. Okay, other comments? So I've made changes. I think I've incorporated all the changes that it seems like there was, at least of the people that have spoken, agreement on. I guess I would look, if there's no other comments, I guess I would look to a motion to approve this letter from someone.
I'd move to approve the letter as amended.
Second.
Second.
All right, we have Kathleen motion, Rob second. And any other discussion?
Other than
Yeah.
thank you to the people
Well-
who drafted it.
Well,
Yes, thank you.
thank you, Jenny. So let me call the roll here. Kathleen,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jenny,
Yep.
Steve,
Yes.
Hal,
Yes.
Robbie,
Yes.
Wendy.
Yes.
Welcome, Wendy, and welcome, Wendy. Sorry,
thank you.
I saw you join and forgot to interrupt myself. And,
No
well,
worry.
did we lose somebody in the middle? We lost
Do you lose Pete?
Pete.
We did lose Pete.
What happened?
He was on his phone.
Yeah, maybe he went in that dead zone if he's in the car or something or whatever. All right. Well, we have our 8-0 vote that we started with, or 8-person vote. All right. Let me stop sharing here. I already did stop sharing, I guess. All right. Okay. Thank you. So Cam and I can work to get these out forthwith, since we're almost a week after our original meeting. And then the only other thing on the agenda is I just wanted to review the fall meeting schedule, and tell me if I've gotten, Jenny, I know you keep these closely, but this is what I have on my calendar. I know we went over this last time, but I just want to make sure, and we have some new members, and obviously Cam is new. So October 5th, October 19th, November 2nd, November 16th, and I think we discussed the possibility of a December 15th. Is that at the last meeting? Cam is nodding yes, so I think I remember that. So
14th.
14th, December 14th.
Oh, it's September 14th.
Oh, yes, but we haven't finalized that, right?
Yeah, and that was to talk about sort of Cam's result of her surveys from other programs in terms of the application process and start that.
So am I misremembering this? I thought we were concerned about whether or not we would have enough data by that date. No reflection on Cam, obviously, but I mean, I'm not opposed to meeting in September, but I don't know. do we think we'll have enough?
Well, I think I mean, Cam, you can just certainly just make some calls. You don't have 200, surveys kind of thing.
Right, right.
Maybe a
Yeah,
half a dozen
yeah,
calls to the right people, and you'd get a sense of what other people are doing. And
yeah.
the questions, I think, for before us are pretty clear. And I just think we need to talk about it more. I mean, do we have rolling? Do we have twice? Do we prioritize? Sort of all those things. So maybe the thing to do is by September 14th is just to clarify what are the questions and what do other towns do?
Do we need a meeting for that? I mean, wouldn't we just,
Yeah, I don't think we need a meeting for that. I think we can give Cam some advice individually. And I can, Jenny, you and I can work with her to make sure we have the questions that reflect, I think, people's concerns or people, not concerns, but what people want to learn.
Possibility. That's fine.
Yeah, I think my question is whether or not we can get August being a big vacation month, whether we'll get a lot of I'll talk to you when I get back from vacation. It does leave us a couple weeks in September. So September 15th is not until mid-September. So I'm not saying we shouldn't meet in September, but
well, Tom, why don't we hold it and we can always cancel it.
okay. So we just that date that we did tentatively identify was September 15th, right? I remember it was a Tuesday, not a Monday.
Well, I had down the 14th, but I can do either.
Well, that is problematic for, I think I thought I said this out loud, but maybe I didn't. It's a family thing. I'm probably not back on the evening of the 14th or just getting back. So I'm likely,
Make it the 15th?
yeah. So, all right, Hal.
Yep, sorry. I believe, Tom, you did suggest that you would not be back in time for that. So I think we did agree that if we were going to have that meeting, we would push it to the 15th.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is October 19th, I believe I saw is from the select board's meeting last week.
Oh, right. Steve said this. Yeah.
Is a town meeting.
So that is one of I think that's the primary reason we scheduled the December meeting. I had forgotten that. Steve, I think, had indicated that town meeting is likely to be October 19th.
but wouldn't you want to schedule the meeting for the 19th in case you have to have a meeting of the CPC prior to the fall town meeting?
Good.
At the town meeting?
That was discussed, yeah.
Excellent point. Yes.
I won't be there. I think I'll be in California.
So let's keep that on the calendar, understanding that may be a short meeting prior to the formal special town meeting. Yeah, and that, if we have to amend the green sheets or what have you with.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what
I think we already have it. It's in my calendar as like 7 to 10 or something for that date. So we might have already discussed it.
Town meeting
October
or
October 19th.
For us, you mean?
Yeah. So I know we must have discussed it.
I have
think,
it
at our
too.
last meeting.
Yeah, I do as well.
Okay.
I guess I should also put in town meeting.
Okay, I'm glad you all have it because I don't have it in my calendar. I don't know how that happened, but that's good that you have it in your calendar.
The only other thing that I just wanted to figure out timing wise, and maybe now that we have like this process, I'm just trying to think if our typical review process lasts how long right now? Like 4 months typically? I think it might be easy. I think what might be helpful for us is to like see, and maybe Cam could help us out with this, is like something, obviously a very visual and what a visual of like how long we do our application process for, where we are in timing, because I think what I just described previously was like if we were to flip this thing or to move it back or whatever, right? Maybe that helps us all like in the future. And I don't know what that looks like. You know, can we wait till January to like start it all over again in a year? Maybe, you know, and
It's
so
a great
that's what
idea.
I'm
No, it's a great
wondering.
idea. And right now we have a process that's the better part of 9 or 10 months. If you add it all up, right? We sort of usually publicize the eligibility application starting in March. The deadline is in May. That's a couple months. Obviously, then we evaluate the eligibility applications, then give them to September, and then we usually spend a couple months post September evaluate. So if you add that all up, that's a 10-month process. I mean, some soft times in there because
Yeah.
no one really submits an eligibility application in March. They wait till May, but still. But
And
yeah,
our
we can put that into a visual. I think that's a good idea, Rob.
and our funding is always May 1st, right? I mean, sorry, July 1st is always when the funding goes out.
Correct.
So I'm just trying to think for the committee, you know, like that's a hard date and we can't move those dates.
Right.
And then the typical is a May date. And do we always have a fall town meeting?
Basically.
I think we usually do, right? So
We
that
almost
would be the
always
only,
do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
so
I don't
just
know. I mean, we
something
can we
to
can ask
think
that
about.
question of whether or not there's been, but it feels like we always do. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
maybe
the t
Cam, that's something you could ask. Like other towns like ours that are structured, we either have spring town meeting or we have like a fall. And it would be interesting to know if like do other towns, um, you know, when do they do their vote at town meeting for funding? Is it in the spring or is it in the fall? Because if we went the fall route, that builds us in a little bit more time, but we'd have to like reshuffle everything.
yes.
Tom,
Okay.
one other thing, just I've noticed on the application form that's on the website at the town does not include Rob's amendment of question of number 5. So Cam, can you make sure that that gets in before these letters go out? Because if they start downloading the application, it won't be what we approved.
Good point. At the last meeting.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
I don't know how you fix that. You got to get into the town meeting website.
Yeah, I think we'll have to have, although there was some progress on that, Lynn DiNapoli said, she has made herself available to, tell, to train Cam in uploading our own meeting agendas, which is
Yeah,
progress.
Have some
So
time with Lynn at the end of the week.
oh, you do? Okay. Okay, great, Cam. That's excellent. So yeah, so that we can add that to the list of can we get trained on
So
that too?
should that happen before the letter gets sent so that people don't download
I think it's
the wrong form?
yeah,
yeah,
that's a priority.
yeah,
So before the letters go out, the application has to be cleaned.
yep, absolutely. Yeah,
Got
so we'll get that done.
Great.
All right, so we have our schedule. I think we'll keep the September meeting on the calendar, but tentative, depending on the need for it, obviously. And
Can I just say something, Tom? I'm sorry.
yeah,
For the
no, go ahead.
September
Go
meeting,
ahead, Cam.
what I can do is have a Google Doc and kind of share some information from what I will have, information from like now up until September. That
Yep.
way the committee can decide if we do need to meet in person, but maybe some information will be reviewed on the Google Doc. And then if people want to meet with me individually to kind of get more information, if that's an option, we can do that too. So just leaving
Yep.
options open just
Yep.
so we know.
Great. Great. Sounds like a good plan. All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second.
Second.
Okay. Somebody say second. Good. Thank you. All right. All in favor, Kathleen? Yep.
I was muted. Yes.
We could read your lips, but it's
I will
better
go like this.
it's better when we can hear you. Rob,
Yes.
Jenny,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Hal,
Yes.
Robbie,
Yes.
Wendy.
Yes.
All right, and Tom, yes. By the way, I voted yes on everything because I didn't call on myself. On the other vote, I was a yes.
You
Came
just do
for
the talk to the
for
hand
minutes.
thing? Yeah.
All right.
I was raising my hand to myself.
Go,
My-
bye.
in my
All
kitchen.
right. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Yeah,
it. Good,
Thanks.
good,
Thank
Thanks,
you,
good
Tom.
everyone.
You got it all done in
Bye.
time.
What's that?
You got it all done in a half hour.
36 minutes, not bad.
Well, close.
Close enough.
Close.
Close enough.
We'll take it. We'll take it.